Hello, welcome to Oates Distillery. My name's Tim Jones. I'm the head distiller here, and this is where we make Oates fine apple brandy.
Hello Tim.
Welcome. Welcome,
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Good. So you're on the banks of the Huon River. You've arrived at our orchard's doorstep, and this is the water that we have to irrigate our orchards with. How about we go and visit the orchards that we take the apples for Charles Oates fruit from?
That sounds great.
Let's do it.
So Tim, what is the good time to do the harvest here exactly?
So we start harvesting in March, go through April and May when the climate's cold, the apples are crisp, ready for perfect harvest.
And how many different varieties of apple are you using here?
Three main varieties: Mikkel, Pink Lady, Fuji and Gala. You can see these apples here are getting close mid-season towards harvest. They're starting to fill out, they're looking beautiful. We're really expecting a great harvest this year. I think that the ripening conditions we're experiencing right now are perfect for aromatics.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're focused on for Charles Oates. So the most compelling, I guess, part of the Charles Oates story is the paddock to bottle situation that we're in here. So we grow all of the apples here on the farm. We are able to manage those in the way that we think is best for distilling. We pick them, crush them, ferment them at the farm, and we distill here. That gives us full control over the quality and over the structure and over all the attributes that we think are important in the spirit. So we put the apples through ferment. Maybe they take about 3 weeks for fermentation, then we settle them for up to 6 months. When we think that the cider is ready to go, we distill that, looking again for fresh top notes, as well as body. I guess what we're trying to do is what is developed right here in this season into a bottle with as minimum damage to the flavour as possible. So the farm was planted in 1888. Charles Oates was a Yorkshire butcher who got caught with too many sheep in his wagon, and as a consequence was sent to Tasmania as a convict. He left his family and never saw them again. His son-in-law, Willie Smith, and he planted the first of the Smith family orchards, and 4 generations on, those orchards are still being managed by the Smith family. It's those apples that go into Charles Oates brandy. So this is the Charles Oates Distillery. I'll leave you in the very capable hands of Ronan, our distiller, who'll take you through the process of distillation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Oden.
How are you?
How are you today?
Yeah, fantastic. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Charles Oates Distilling. This is home to our Charentais Alembic still. Her name is Antoinette, so feel free to call her by her name and make sure to be polite because she's can be a little bit aggressive sometimes. This is a very French design, something you guys might be familiar, but this is a still that's been handmade here in Tasmania by a man named Peter Bailey. So this is the first time that he's attempted to build a Charentais still like this, something very specifically designed for fruit distillation.
So the apple brandy that we have, which has been in barrel for the longest, is sherry barrel aged apple brandy. It's getting on towards 5 years now. We're really excited about that release. We have some 4-year-old releases of muscat and tokay that we've been working with that are delicious, and looking forward we're looking at more sherry, more fortified port and muscat barrel releases, and also some Spanish Pedro Jimenez in the future.
So, now that today's distillation is complete, this is a very exciting time and we can have a little look inside our still. As you can imagine, a boiler like this is just like a big kettle or a pot on your stove at home, and it can take a bit of time for it to heat up. So once we get through the heating phase and we set the temperature of the still very specifically, usually somewhere between 85 and 90 degrees centigrade, and that allows us to individually allow alcohol components to evaporate and travel through the still one by one.
Like the great Calvados of France, we're using a Charentais Alembic cognac still, designed for cognac and now used for Calvados. We think that gives the best aromatic and texture of all the still designs.
This is the point that we separate the fractions in the second distillation, and we have the option to identify the desirable spirit from what we consider undesirable and to be redistilled another time. So out of the parrot comes our clear spirit. We've got no colour, we've got no sweetness left in the spirit at this point. Sugar is left behind, as well as any tannin from the fruit. And we've got a nice, clean, pure spirit to individually decipher what we like to do with it.
Mine spirits are obviously young and progressive and innovative, and like us, having a go at doing something different at the premium end. So that's why we've chosen mine.